Hey there guys, it's Young Volk here, and today I'm going to be talking about a very simple matter. But this goes out to the three biggest groups of duelists. How to become a better duelist. So this video is not meant to be incredibly in-depth, but it's just a very simple video. How to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh! And how to become a better duelist overall. So I'll start out with the group of duelists who need the most improvement. Newer duelists. My tips for newer duelists to become better is simply learn the mechanics of the game and try to learn as much about the basics and keep touching up on your basics. Because the basics are the most important part of this game. Like, for example, just really start having good habits like reading your cards, because even though sometimes you know your deck, or you think you do at least, it's always good to just reread your cards. Because sometimes you might have abused the card the wrong way and the other person didn't catch it because they don't play your deck. Or simply, you just didn't understand it that well. So on top of that, you should just try to relearn the basics and always read your cards. That starts helping you towards becoming a better duelist, because as you read your cards more, while you learn more, you eventually start seeing more combos, and that just shows that you're starting to get more of a mastery of the game. Rather than always thinking about hypotheticals, you can see actual things happening in your deck. Things that might be likely, things that might be unlikely. It just depends what type of deck you run. Second tip for starting duelists is to buy a structure deck. Because structure decks, while I detest the fact that they're so structured, they are good for beginning duelists. Because beginning duelists, the hardest part is that they don't know how to get better besides just playing the most expensive deck. And it's not really that simple. It's more so learning how to play different decks rather than just your thrown together combo deck. You want to have like an actual archetype, and you can learn the archetype, and as you learn the archetype, you learn that mechanic very well. So that could influence how what further decks you create, and just how you play overall. And archetypes they're very powerful things, and there will always be able to, most of the time they will be able to be a combo deck. And the thing about structure decks, they come with little pamphlets that teach you how to play the deck itself, so you can start off by learning combos, and you just learn overall how to play that deck in one of the best ways. And if not the best way, you'll often see, if you go against another player using that deck, you'll see how to improve yourself if you lose that match. Lastly, what I think beginning duelists should do, look up videos. That's a very important thing, is to just expand what you can see. Because the problem is, lots of beginning duelists, they'll either be learning from another friend or something similar to that situation, and then they only know what that friend knows. If the friend doesn't know everything, then you're screwed. It's because then you just really don't have any room to grow outside of your friend growing. So just look up videos and see what's out there. See what mechanics you like, see what mechanics you dislike. Now, for players who aren't new to the game but aren't at the top of their game yet, touch down on rulings. Rulings are some of the most important things in the game. Rulings being things like how certain cards or effects would resolve, and chain speed. Chain speed is very important, because if you do not know that essential thing, many times you'll wonder how did that happen, and you might think that other person's cheating, or you won't be able to understand and apply it to yourself. Because the more you know, the more advantage you have. Which is why playing decks that are uncommon, very good thing. Because if they're powerful enough, then maybe they could become common, but you always have that element of surprise versus people who haven't played. Second tip, get a stable deck. Don't get the best deck out there, because that's an awful decision. Because the thing about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, constantly, the best decks will get hit down when they're in their prime because Konami likes to make ban lists. And that could severely cripple how you play a strategy because you might get used to a deck being as powerful as it is, and then you might let that overtake your skill. You should always have more skill than your deck has power. Because if your deck has more power than you have skill, eventually, if that deck drops in power ever by being power creeped, which is the term used to describe when decks just don't become as fast enough for the meta at that time, or if your deck gets hit by a ban list and that deck drops dead because of all the cards that have been hit, and then if you don't have enough skill for that, then you're screwed. That deck is no longer viable. All the combos you thought you knew, no longer there, and everything's just going poorly for you. Third, go to locals. Go to any type of tournament where you can see a wide variety of players, wide variety of decks, and you're just not used to playing the same like 4 guys every single couple of days, or every single day if you have like a Yu-Gi-Oh group at your school. And you want to really advance and keep moving forward, and you don't want to ever see Yu-Gi-Oh as not being a fun game, because that's the most important part for all levels of players. And to become a better duelist, you need to have fun. If you don't have fun, then you won't have your mind as open as you possibly can. You just think everything that's new is stupid, and you won't really want to expand more, making your skill cap drastically lower. And lastly, for advanced players, first, look up videos. See what decks are out there. See what the future is going to be like. Know your enemy before your enemy knows you. And play a deck that's worthy of your skill level. Don't cut yourself short of being a really good duelist if you are at a much higher skill level than that deck can ever achieve. This is something that many good duelists do because they want to keep it fun, but they should be able to expand into other areas, such as I play Speedroids, and I came from running combo decks, and I've always known quite a bit about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I never realized how much I knew. And as I started getting more into the competitive scene and viewing more videos, I realized I became a lot better of a duelist because so many more things are available to me. And I've learned to play decks just beside what I'm comfortable with. So as part of being a really good duelist, you have to be able to step outside your comfort zone. You have to be able to identify what's going to happen and how to outplay somebody. And how to appraise how good a deck is or how good it could be. Because there are lots of decks where people out there on YouTube, you don't need to know how good a deck is going to be or see the combos firsthand. You just have to let somebody show it to you on a video, which arguably can be better sometimes because you might not have all the time in the world to dedicate to Yu-Gi-Oh, because I know it's still just a card game. It's not going to be all-consuming of your life. And lastly, just learn from everything you do in Yu-Gi-Oh. Learn from when your deck gets hit. Learn from when you lose. Learn from when you win. Learn what to watch out for. Just always keep learning, and that's something that every duelist needs to do. It's just keep on learning, because then eventually you'll keep rising in your skill level. And then if you can get a deck that matches your skill level, then you should become one of the best duelists out there. If you can just keep following all these steps throughout your dueling career. Alright, so guys, that was a bit of a lengthy little lecture-ish video, but that's in Young Volk here, and thank you for watching. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And please comment, because that's like my favorite thing, to see other people's what other people think besides just a like or dislike or subscribe. I like subscribers too. I only have 3 so far, but please help me boost my numbers. So that's been Young Volk here, and thank you for watching.